In this video, I'm going to share with you how to warm up your wrists. These movements are perfect for CrossFitters, gymnasts, and even weightlifters. Now, wrists are essential for any type of strength training, body weight or otherwise. You got to begin to build up your wrist strength to deal with pressures of training, and most importantly, to avoid injuries.
We're going to warm up with some gentle wrist circles, both separately and with the hands interlocked. Right now we're moving independently of each other. Then we're going to interlock the hands and do some wrist circles. I like to go about 10 or so each way. So we'll go 10 this direction and then 10 the opposite direction. Just warm up, getting the fluid in the wrists moving nice and warm. After that, just to go over some quick definitions, when your hand is up in that position, it's called extension, down, flexion. It'll come into play as we go through these movements. So rocking back and forth is our first movement. Just gently from this figure four position, you're going to lean forward. I like to keep small little gaps between my fingertips and really feel that throughout the fingers. Try to keep your palms planted into the ground throughout this entire time. It is more important to keep your palms on the ground than to lean super far forward or back. Same thing on the side to side motion. Now the fingertips are out to your left and right, and you're just going to gently rock back and forth. Your hand should be planted pretty much at shoulder width apart, directly under in that figure four position. Just rocking back left and right, feeling that little bit of extension throughout the forearm and the wrists. And back to the fingers facing forward. We're just going to gently roll up, roll down, warming up the wrists, fingers, hands, forearms for any type of movement, whether you're doing CrossFit, gymnastics, handstand practice. This is all great. You could also use the back of the hands like so. We're going to warm up just rocking back and forth left and right. And we could also do the same roll-ups into that fist type motion. Now the more you lean forward, the more intense this is. You can see slight bending in my left elbow. It's ideal to keep your arm straight, but some of the force can be absorbed by the elbow if it is too intense. You can also bring your practice to the top of a tabletop, or even if you needed to, you could bring it to a wall. Here I'm opening and closing the hand with that bent wrist, keeping the backs of my hand glued to the ground. It's great for just working control of the muscles in that range. And we could also do some elbow rotations. So keeping the palms planted in the ground, arms nice and stacked vertically. We're rotating at the elbows. I know this is an elbow motion, but it is definitely a wrist stretch. You will feel this in the muscles throughout the entire arm. Try to rotate from the elbows. You could change the hand position to either out, forward, or even back with the fingertips facing your knees. It'll reduce the range of motion as you face your knees, but just try to keep that full external rotation out, internal rotation in, warming up the muscles. You can do it on the backs of the hands as well. It does feel much more intense if you're not conditioned to it, but try to work your way up. Don't have to stay there very long. Shake it out as we move on to the next movement. This one's a little more advanced. It's going to start in this praying hands position, and then you rotate down. Notice how my arms are parallel to the ground, and what I'm going to do is, as a unit, bring my fingertips to the left, hold for 10, maybe 15 seconds. Don't forget to continue to breathe throughout this motion, back to the center, and then fingertips to the right. This one you feel throughout your entire arms and core, but it does primarily focus on the wrists, the fingertips, as well as the forearms. Back to that praying hand position, shake it out for the next one, which is specific to Olympic lifters. You start in this Heimlich maneuver type position, gently grasp the thumb with the other arm, and externally rotate the thumb forward and down to the ground. I ask you to please be careful with this one. I do not want you snapping your thumb off. You just gently rotate down to get some of that deviation. So your wrist does move up and down. If you have a straight hand out, radial deviation is when you move your thumb towards your thumb, lifting your hand up, and ulnar deviation is moving it towards the pinky. We're just kind of working on some of those 360-degree rotation planes. Now you ready to go kick ass in CrossFit gymnastics or weightlifting? Go get it, guys.